Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay, I think the sound should be there. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. You guys still can't hear? Let's see. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot that I had it doing it earlier. Okay. I had it I was doing something earlier and I had the mic muted, so I guess I forgot to unmute it. So, okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to get right into it. Glad to see everybody here. Looks like we got Tasha, Bryce, John in here. Welcome, and everybody who's watching but not chatting. So let's get into the forecast because we have a little bit of stuff to talk about. We'll break everything down that you need to know, and we're going to break it down basically so it's like first grade weather forecasting. So first thing we have up here is a severe weather outlook, and you can see we have some different colors than yesterday's. So on the screen here, we do have a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, 2 out of 5, and a 1 out of 5. Now, there's a hard cutoff right here, and it splits into St. Charles County and Franklin and all the way up in like Illinois area. And we do have an enhanced threat of severe weather. This is going to be in the evening time. Now, we have storms coming in tonight. This is going to be tomorrow afternoon, evening. So I want to make that clear. This is not for tonight, storms, or tomorrow morning. It's going to be for the evening time. So let's get into the threats. So we have 3 categories here, and let's go into the tornado outlook. And we do have a higher probability of the tornadoes here, and we do have a slight 10% risk in a little bit of Warren County, the far west side of Warren County, but most of the areas in the 5% risk of seeing tornadoes and a 2% of seeing tornadoes in the area. So tornado potential, at least in my opinion, as of right now, it is going to be fairly low. I think this 5%, 2% is going to stay there, but I would not be surprised if you know anybody out in like Jefferson City, Lake of the Ozarks, or Columbia. I would not be surprised if there's a slight upgrade, but I think the tornado potential here is gonna be fairly low, but it is there, so we do have to keep that in mind. Now we go to the wind forecast here. The wind forecast is going to be the big talk of tomorrow afternoon, if it does happen, because we'll tell you the factors, because there is a big if. So we do have a 30%, which is pretty significant in the wind department of seeing 70 miles per hour or greater. We have a 15 to 30% of isolated wind gusts, I should say, up to 70 miles per hour. And then all the way out near Effingham, you just have 60 mile per hour wind gusts. This standard thunderstorm winds, I should say, for this. So we do have all possible hazards tomorrow with the severe weather. Now we go to the hail forecast. Hail forecast, it is there, I should say. Everybody is in a 30% chance, basically. It's the max probability. 30% chance of hail, a little bit over into like Madison County over there, and some of St. Clair County. You're in a smaller risk, but don't really see too much in the hail department. I really do think, unfortunately, if it's anything, it's going to be any tornadoes or damaging winds, in my opinion. So let's get into the timing, because that has been the big question here today. So we're going to go over the timing. So make sure you guys are prepared. Let you guys get ready. Let you guys check the blue score and let you check the cardinal score. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so here's the current model run here. Karen says, I'm a little late, but I'm here now. Welcome, Karen. John says, no cheese curds. It is possible that we don't get any. And Lauren says, well done. I really do appreciate that. Hello, everybody. Glad to see you guys on Saturday night. Welcome. So we're going to go through the evening. So we're going to have those small light showers that you probably see out your window right now. That's going to be all the way mostly as we're doing this live stream and to most of the night. But you can see once we get into the overnight hours, it does start to get the look a little bit scary here, but we do have some thunderstorms. Some bigger thunderstorms will be south of I-44 here. And when I say big thunderstorms, maybe isolated wind threat, hail threat, almost basically last night, if not exactly last night. So we're going to have some thunderstorms overnight. This is 3 in the morning that you're looking at. A whole bunch of rain around the area again on top of what we already have. So flooding is going to be a concern here. This is 5 a.m., 6 a.m. here. And as we get into 7 a.m., we have a little bit more a batch of thunderstorms here. Now, this does not, the severe part, this is not any tornado, hail risk. This is just very heavy rain, and that's going to move all the way through probably about the 9 o'clock hour. So you can see right now we're at the 10 a.m., and we may have an isolated storm or two around the area. We may. But most of it should be into central Illinois, around the Springfield area. So we will probably have a few hours of dryness, but it's going to be cloudy. The ground is going to be soaked. So if you have any Easter egg hunt plans, it's going to be muddy. So I recommend just being inside just in case. But you can see as we go into 11 a.m., maybe some showers down the south of Potosi, the Farmington area, down in that area. It's possible around the 11 o'clock hour, but the severe risk is here. So I want to bring your attention here. We need to be focused because it's a little bit complicated in the forecast, but I'm going to break it down so it's not complicated. So basically, the severe risk is right here. Okay, so severe thunderstorms, you can already see the hail. Some brighter colors is representing hail that's doing on the radar, and that's at 6 p.m. But I want to bring your attention here, and I want you to look very closely. You see how we have these thunderstorms? This is around 1 p.m. You see how we have these thunderstorms on the screen here? If we get those before that 6 o'clock time frame, the severe weather threat is going to be super low. Like, I mean, low tornado threat, low wind threat, and if possibly not even a hail threat. So if we get any storms in front of this, as it's showing now, the severe risk is going to be very, very low. So I want to make that very clear that if we see storms last all the way into the afternoon to the evening and we don't really have a big break, that's good because that will ruin the instability that we need for the evening storm. So keep that in mind. That's one thing that's really making this threat conditional. It may or may not happen, almost like last night, how we had that very low severe threat, but we had all that rain. Almost going to be exactly like that, but the main threat I want to bring your attention to is out in central Missouri, this north of Springfield, Lake of the Ozarks. All these storms out here are going to be tornadic, so we really just have to watch that, but I really do think we're going to see some type of storms in the morning that's really going to limit the severe weather risk. So want to make that clear here that if we see morning storms, the risk will be lower. So want to make that clear. So you can see we still have those thunderstorms lingering around the 2 p.m. hour, and then it starts to clear out again. Now, I don't think in a few hours towards the evening time it'll really have a chance, but it is going to be possible as we get into the evening time. Now, evening time, 6 p.m. dinner plans for Easter is going to be moving into the far west side near Warrenton, all the way near the Sullivan area. Those places like that, and near the Troy area will be the first area to get going. Now, there is a chance, I just want to make it out there, there is a chance that maybe we can get a small, quick spin-up tornado, but it's not very looking likely here. You can see most of it's in a line. So we're really looking at a wind threat, maybe an isolated hail threat. You can see a couple of strong thunderstorms around the 7 p.m. here. Maybe a couple will produce some isolated hail, but it's going to be very isolated at best. So 7 p.m. is really going to be the time frame that will be guaranteed to see a wind or a hail threat. So 7 p.m., make sure you're indoors. 6 p.m. afternoon, a little bit iffy, but once we get into the evening, we really get thunderstorms. Everybody's guaranteed to see a thunderstorm, but the severeness really depends on the morning. Now we go into the 8 p.m. hour here as well. Still raining all the way into about 10 p.m. It'll scoot off into the Illinois side, and by 11 p.m. it'll exit the whole area. So that is the timing of the forecast and what to expect there. But like I said, I want to go back here. If we get the thunderstorms here in front, if we get the thunderstorms here in the front, everyone, it's going to play a difference on what we see. So, want to make that clear here. So, if we have all that rain, like I said, because we'll have that rain overnight. So, as we're going to sleep, while you're asleep, you'll be just fine. You can go to sleep. Don't worry about staying up. The severeness will be just fine. We will have some rain, thunderstorms, just like last night almost, going through the whole night here. And then we have to watch this time frame. After 11 to 1 p.m., we have to watch to see if we get any development. It could be severe. That is another question I got. If we do get that prefrontal storms, I should say, will it be severe? It is, but it's going to be very low and isolated. But I would be more concerned, everyone, if I was you, take one thing from this live stream here. I would say the one thing I would be worried about any severe threat that's at least guaranteed, at least wind and hail, will be around 6 to 7 p.m. So if I was to go live for the severe threat, if it happens, I would be more worried about 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So that's when I would be the most concerned, because the threat and this threat is conditional. So it may or may not happen, almost like we just have last night. So there's that. But I want to take you over to the other model here. And this model is basically showing the exact same thing. Thunderstorms overnight here, rain is going throughout the day. This shows a little bit more of a break, but it also shows that we do have rain out in front of it. So it also shows that, hey, it's not going to be that bad. So, but I want to make it clear that it still can happen, but the models are not really showing anything concerning for me or anything to make you guys panic. So that's one thing as well. But the main threat here, if you want to do any storm chasing, go out to central Missouri, because it's going to be tornado central. I wouldn't be surprised if the tornado risk gets upgraded, but as it continues off to the east, it'll start to weaken here. And you can see basically on this model here, it almost breaks up. So you can see how light the thunderstorms are. Like I said, we can still get a couple severe storms here. It will be possible for some severe storms. But I think if we do have the morning storms, it will play a factor of what happens in the evening. So that is that. Looks like it's getting foggy in Alton, Illinois. Yes, that is. We have been seeing reports. It wasn't southern Missouri, but I appreciate that as well. Andrea says, hello, everyone. How's it going? Glad to see you, Andrea. Thank you for tuning in. But I do want to bring you over to a graphic here that my girlfriend made. Just want to show you this. You'll see it being posted as well, but here is basically a timeline, basically of what I was expecting here. So morning time, isolated rain. It should be moving out of the area. So rain is possible. 57 degrees in the morning. That'll feel fairly nice here. And 1 p.m., mostly cloudy. Like I said, we could see the thunderstorms, but I don't want to just put that in just yet, because it may or may not happen. So we'll keep it mostly cloudy with the isolated rain chance on there. 68 around 1 p.m. And then once we get to 5 p.m., that's when the rain chances could start popping up out to the west. It is the early part, but there is a chance of rain. But I really do think that the severe risk will be the 6, 7, 8 o'clock. But for western counties, Warren County, Franklin County, and Lincoln County, you'll probably have a couple storms going up around 5 p.m., 72 degrees at that time as well. So it's going to be warm, but it's going to be warm to try to heat up those thunderstorms to try to make it severe. But yeah, do you guys like that forecast here? My girlfriend made it. Give her a like, a heart in the chat for making this graphic. Really do appreciate that. In-house graphic designer here at TKW. Alrighty, so we are going to be going to my favorite page, everyone. And this is basically, once again, just a breakdown of what I said, but in a visual form here. So here we go, graphic here, tornadoes expected. It is going to be on the high side, but remember the National Weather Service in St. Louis covers almost all the way over near the Raleigh area. So keep that in mind. So they're really forecasting for the central Missouri area. So do want to make that clear. But tornadoes possible. Strong one is not out of the question, but I really do think if we get one, it'll be over here. So a tornado is likely, possible, maybe, but I wouldn't worry about the tornado threat. Isolated hail threat, we're not really expecting anything. We might see the Masters happen outside our window with golf ball size expected, but the hail threat, in my opinion, is not really looking too concerning. But like I said, isolated hail up the golf ball. PGA Tour will be happening in the St. Louis area and other counties as well. But the main threat here, everybody, the main threat that is at least almost guaranteed is that we're going to see some scattered, if not numerous, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is possible. Maybe isolated 80 miles per hour out to our west near the Warren side and places like those over there. So that is the visual graphic here. And we'll go to the timing as well. Oh, you guys like the graphic? Thank you very much. She'll really appreciate that. She'll probably blush at these comments. So really do appreciate that. So here we go again. Weather timing in a graphical form here. So we over here, like I said, Warrenton and Franklin County, like Sullivan area, Union, Detroit area as well. You can expect to see around 5 to 7 p.m. You can see right down here, 5 to 7 p.m. Now, it's not going to be going between 5 to 7 p.m. It can start between 5 and 7 p.m. So make sure you're prepared. That's when the biggest threat of severe weather is going to be likely. 7 to 9 p.m. in the small little window of the Festus, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, St. Louis County, and the city of St. Louis with Jerseyville included. Then our friends in Illinois always last to the party, but 9 to 11 p.m. the late night special in our Illinois counties will be possible. But I do expect, if you're anywhere in Illinois, eastern Madison County, eastern St. Clair County, the Randolph County, Monroe area, far eastern Monroe, and to like Clinton and Bond County, I think your severe weather risk is going to be super low. So I think if you're anywhere in this box over here, I think you'll be just fine. But anywhere, especially the Warren County, Union area, Sullivan, Troy area, I would be a little bit more on alert if I was you. So, because that's where it's going to start. But remember, it's going to be weakening as it goes through. So just remember that. And then last thing, but least, is we got this little timing. This basically shows you, because you're probably asking one more time, when is it going to be bad? Well, Storm Prediction Center has answered your question, and I'm going to go over that with you real quick. So you can see the graph here. And the graph up here, here's the key, tornado, wind, and hail. I don't know if you can see that good, but the timing's at the bottom here. So 3 p.m., we see a slight increase of the wind and hail threat. But once we go into about 6 and about 10 p.m. here, that's when we'll see our peak of mainly wind. Hail is up there, up the golf ball sites. Like I said, the Masters will be out there. And a small tornado risk. But you can see the tornado risk is not even close to 10%, probably at like 2%. So you can see, once again here from the Storm Prediction Center, is very low tornado risk. So I want to make that clear. Tornado risk is going to be low. But remember, everyone, let me be honest, it's conditional. If we have morning storms in the morning, we won't have anything in the evening. We'll still have storms, but they won't be as bad. So I do want to make that clear. So you can see between the 6 and 10 p.m. is the time to watch. But as you're far west, we'll be watching this too and providing updates as well. But around the 4 p.m., that's when we have to start looking out for the Warren County, the Franklin County, and the Lincoln County area. So if you're in any of those counties, make sure you're following up with the weather page. And if you need to, you can turn on post notifications on YouTube at Team Kenny Weather to let you know when we are live as well. How's Easter morning? Can you check on that for me real quick? Yes, I can. The comments don't pop up when I stream in 1080p. I don't know why it's like that, but we're working on it, everybody. Okay, let's see. Don't mean to go there. Okay, timing. Okay, timing again, everybody. If you just tuned in, we're going to be going over the timing once again with in-depth analysis. Okay, so rain overnight, like I said, it's going to be more widespread as we go into like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't be scared. It's just going to be thunderstorms. We're used to that. We had that last night, so you'll be just fine. But once we go into the morning time, around 9 a.m., just like in the graphic that we showed a little bit earlier, it does look like it starts to get isolated in Illinois, especially in the Jerseyville area, maybe Macoupin County as well. See some lingering showers, but you can see we have a little bit of a break. A lot of places are dry. Maybe isolated rain shower is possible around the 10 o'clock hour. But you can see once we get into 11, some storms will be down to the south. No factor for us. Maybe Potosi area. Watch out for a brief small storm. But you can see once we get into the 12, 1 o'clock hour, we do have some rain starting to form around the area. This could put a seal on our severe weather event that say nothing is going to happen. So we have to watch out for that as well. But once we get throughout the day, 2 p.m., we still have those storms. Maybe a storm out west we have to monitor as well. So we'll be watching that. And then once we get into the 4, 5 o'clock hour, it'll really be quiet, but we're in the waiting room for these potential severe like storms to move through. And this is when we're really going to see the wind threat, as we just shown in the last graphic. So mostly a wind threat, but like I said, we will have hail being possible and also a slight tornado risk. But in my opinion, if you were to ask me, the tornado risk is probably not going to happen. So just want to make that clear. It really has to take a lot of ingredients and stuff, I should say, to really get a tornado. But I think the tornado party is going to be out to our west in the Columbia area. Lake of the Ozarks, basically in this highlighted area, is where I really do think we'll see the tornado potential. So thank you, Mom, for the donation. I really do appreciate that. Suzanne says, thank you, Kenny, for another great weather forecast. Everyone be safe and have a wonderful Easter. I really do appreciate that nice comment. And happy birthday again. Suzanne's birthday was yesterday, so that was very nice. Natalie says, thank you for the update, Kenny and team. You're very welcome. I appreciate that. But yes, once again, it is possible to see some severe storms, but we'll keep you updated, especially in the morning. We'll have our weather forecast going out as well in the evening here, so I'll let you know what's to expect the rest of the week. And we have some 70s. If you're still here and you're curious, we do have some 70s that are possible next week, but it does look like rain is going to return towards the middle of the week, so that is one thing to keep in mind as well. Appreciate all the likes on the live stream. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Really do appreciate that. But I want to take a quick glance at the radar here. Let's go to the radar page. And if you are new here and you didn't see yesterday in our update, we do have a new stream overlay here. So, all right, yeah, so it looks like the rain here, if I can fix this monitor, in-ear monitor piece. Looks like the rain at the current moment is behaving. So you can see a little bit of dryness is happening around the area, light rain, but all these storms down here are going to be making its way up there. So all these storms that are basically just like this is going to be making its way, but it's going to die out once it gets here. So I wouldn't worry about the severe threat. But this is a new overlay that we do have here that we're going to be using in our live stream. So that is nice. Appreciate the info and explanation in detail. You're very welcome, John. Thank you once again for tuning in. I really do appreciate that. Just checking to see if there's any updates coming through. Storm Prediction Center. Wouldn't be surprised. We'll have to monitor the trends about the risk. But like I said, if we do see anything, it will really have to be, we have to see there's nothing. Oh, let's go back to this. I forgot where we were. Okay, there we go. But if we do see anything, like I said, it really has to have nothing happened in the morning. So that's one thing that the National Weather Service is also saying. So, okay, Matthew, say thanks for the update. You're welcome. Once again, like I said, always, don't know why I say your full name. I just think it sounds like a famous name, K. Matthews. Let's see, I'm just, for everybody just staying on the live stream, enjoying your Saturday night with me. Let's see. Grace says, hello, Grace. How are you doing? Says, Kenny, I will be driving back from Hannibal. What time do you recommend tomorrow? That is a great question. You know what? We're gonna look together to make sure we give you an accurate answer here. Okay, Matthew says, oh, thanks. Well, you're welcome. Okay, so Grace, let's take a look together here. Make sure we're giving you an update here. Let's see, what's the newest model run that's going through? So, I think for at least, let's take a look, Grace. At least, I guess for convenience-wise, probably after 10 a.m., because I don't think it's that far. You'll hit rain, but nothing severe. But if you want to wait till like 11, 12 o'clock, probably be the best bet, in my opinion. But if you don't mind driving in like rain, non-severe storms, I think you'll be just fine. Probably, at least this newest run, probably like 11 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. I think you'll be okay. But you're not going to hit any hailstorms. But if you don't mind driving in some rain, I think you'll be just fine leaving at any time. But if you want a nice, pleasant drive, probably late morning. So probably 11 a.m. will probably be the best time frame. But this new model is still showing some isolated storms. So I don't know. Severe weather risk, like I said, everybody, it's conditional. It's almost like yesterday, like how we thought it was going to be in the evening time, but nothing happened. It is possible that it will be raining a lot longer, and it'll put a damper on the severe weather threat. Now, personally, I would like the severe weather threat, but we don't need it. That's just me. I want to get excited about the storms, but we don't need that. You guys don't like that. But my personal opinion, everybody, Easter forecast, we're going to have rain in the morning till about the 11, 12 o'clock area. May be a little bit longer, but we're going to have this rain moving through in the morning. So any morning Easter egg hunts, it's going to be wet outside. It's going to be muddy, so make sure you're inside. I would just stay inside all day if I was you. But then we have a little bit of a break for most areas around the lunchtime hour. So we do have a little bit of a break. But it's going to be muddy outside. But then we have to watch the evening time for possibility of some strong storms. Now, everybody that's still here, we're just going to look at something. This is called a hodograph. This is Algebra 2 class in the weather department. So here in Algebra 2, we are looking at geometry. And basically what you're looking at is almost like if a weather balloon got sent up at this current time in the storm. So I just want to look at something. We'll break it down for you. So one thing to look for in the severe storms is this category. You need in order to get tornadoes, you need wind direction with height. And you can see we have a small wind direction, but most of it is staying the same. So it's not really looking too favorable, at least this for this photograph here. And also you're looking for curvature and this graph on this side. You want it to almost look like to the left. This is like if the weather balloon is going up, it starts spinning. But you can see when we send up the weather balloon, let me delete this. I know it's algebra 2 here. See, when we send up a weather balloon, it goes straight up. So, and that kind of goes over with this forecast because you can see, oh, voice crack. Yep, I'm still 12, everybody. And not a lot of wind direction. So that's why it goes up and then goes to the right. But in order to get a tornado, we needed the curve. That's what we need. So that's one thing to look at. You guys just learned something when we look at these graphs. You might seen it on other pages as well. That is one thing to look at too. Also, you're looking for on the left side. Over here is your temperature and the dew point. Now, on this side as well, when you look for severe storms, you need the lines to be matched up. So see how they're really close together? That really is 1 point against severe storms. So that's why there's a possibility of seeing the severe storms, because temperature and the dew point are going to be near each other. We don't have any lines sticking out to the left. That indicates a cap, which means it prevents storms from forming. But you can see all the way up into the atmosphere, the temperature does go up as we go through. So that's just one thing to look at. All this other stuff like marginal tornado risk, you can't really base it off that. Really got to know what you're looking at. So also you can't see at the bottom left hand corner, but the energy, the fuel is pretty low as well. So that's one thing to expect. So that is Algebra 2 class, everybody. Now there's going to be a test. No, I'm just kidding. So leaving up on the timing here. Does anybody have any questions here about tomorrow? Do you guys learn anything about that hodograph? So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, concerns, recipes. What are you making for Easter? What are you doing for Easter? Let me know as well. Be gladly willing to hear. Yes, there is a tornado down in Texas. Yes. That is what you guys just saw. There is a tornado watch, but I do not expect that to move into our area. But once again, you can see it on the screen here. This is the timing at the start time, everybody. So 3 to countings on the left side, 5 to 7 p.m. here, and we look towards the middle, 7 to 9 p.m. for most of the area, most of the population here of the Team Kenny weather page. And then Illinois will have a late night special happy hour cocktail party of 9 to 11 p.m. as well. So the Illinois side, at least far east, Madison, St. Clair, Randolph, Clinton, and Bond County, the severe weather threat I wouldn't worry about. So I would be more concerned, at least in my opinion, if I had to draw a line, almost be right here where they drew. But anywhere in this area will probably be the greatest threat of severe weather, because as it moves over to the east here, it's going to start to weaken. So do want to make that clear. Okay, Matthew says, you have a wonderful Easter. I will. Oh, Dad says, great job, Kenny. Thank you very much. Oh, he put a heart. That's so nice. That is very nice. Thank you, thank you. Almost made me blush a little bit. You guys see that? See my face turn red? But, yes, we'll probably monitor. We'll be monitoring tomorrow. But if we do go live, make sure you're following on Facebook and on YouTube. You can be notified when we go live from the YouTube side. So if we do go live, you'll be notified as well. So that is possible. But the live stream percentage is probably 50%. We just have to see what the morning time does. So when I'm making the video, we'll be monitoring. But make sure you're watching the updates. We'll keep you updated, let you know how the atmosphere is looking as well. But you can see as well the main peak one more time here. Main peak is going to be about 4 to 10 or 10 p.m. So you can see the sunset time. So the evening time, if we do have any severe weather area, is possible. Oh, hey Brian, how's it going? Glad to see you here. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate that. Said, yes, I did circle you guys, and I will cover you real quickly in the St. James area. One of the followers here is a place I go to on my delivery, so real quickly here, Brian, give me 1 second. Let me pull up the map. You guys at least... Yeah, see? Okay, there's the chat box, Kanan. Okay. Okay, down here in St. James, you guys have a little bit of an elevated tornado threat. So you're a little bit higher on the tornado scale. So I will watch out for a tornado or two. It's possible down there in the St. James area, the Raleigh area. But I really do think it's going to be a little bit west. But as it moves, that tornado potential could be possible. But you can see how the threat level is the yellow, and then the brown and the green. You see how it goes down in the scale, which usually means how to be, or I don't know what I was saying. I was reading the comment. But basically, it's going to be trending down as it moves east. So that's why the threat, it's almost looking like it's just fading out, because that's why it's going to be like, it's going to do that. That's why Illinois has the far east side near Vandalia has no tornado threat. Yeah, can I say great job? Yeah, just now figured out. Yeah, we do have subscribers. You can become a subscriber. You don't have to, but do get an extra couple perks as well. So you can feel free if you want to. It's not required, but you can see Kanan there showing some of the perks that you have. And you'll also be notified through Facebook if you're a subscriber as well. But like I said, it's not required at all. It is just an option. But once again, the main threat tomorrow is going to be the wind. So wind threat is going to be possible, but we'll be monitoring in the morning to see how the storms play out. We'll post any updates as necessary as well. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. But does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I think we'll wrap up the live stream. We will have the video forecast out regardless if the storms happen or not, around 4 to 5 p.m. as well. Any last minute questions, comments, concerns? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize I could do that. Yeah, that is the St. Charles Rock Road. That is on 141. Pretty quiet. There goes UPS making a delivery. You guys just saw that. But if no one has any questions, comments, or concerns, I think we went over the forecast in depth and the timing and everything that you need to know about tomorrow. But remember, it could be a conditional threat. Conditional in the weather world means it may not happen, but the limiting factor is the morning storms could limit the severe weather risk in the evening time. But wind, regardless if we have storms in the morning or not, but the tornado potential, hail potential will be decided in the morning time. So make sure you're looking out for that, and that will be what we have to watch out for as well here. So without any more questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you guys like on the way out. I think we're going to head out here and enjoy the rest of the Cardinals game. Don't know what the score is. And we're going to be enjoying their Saturday night, as you guys should. I know you guys want to spend the time with me. Get a lot of comments about that. But once again, we'll be monitoring tomorrow, posting updates first thing in the morning. So make sure you're looking out for those. And We'll see you possibly tomorrow. We'll have to see, but we'll see you in the weather video regardless tomorrow, 4 to 5 p.m. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We are going to roll out with the outro. You can feel free to jam with me as well. So we're going to roll on out of here. Enjoy the rest of our Saturday night. And we'll see you possibly tomorrow for the severe weather coverage. Good night, everybody. I didn't have the end stream pulled up, so you guys see it. Eventually, one day, I know this talking too much, yapping, but we did at one point. If you watch the older videos, we do have a live behind the scenes camera, so you guys could see what I was doing at the intro, the outro. Oh, real quick, Brian says Happy Easter. Oh yeah, Happy Easter to everybody. If we don't see you tomorrow, totally forgot Happy Easter, everybody. Says we had a little over 2 inches of rain down here. Yeah, I heard a lot of places around 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. I'm hoping for some more thunder overnight. So you'll hear the thunder. Don't you worry. It's unscheduled. I already talked to him. He'll be bowling a strike all night long. So he might get a perfect 300. So let me know tomorrow morning if he does that in your area. But until then, we're going to head on out. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.